So one of the most important and one of the most commonly asked questions is how much time should I be giving to learning French if I want to, clear the TEF Canada exam, or if I want to learn French as soon as possible. See, if I just have to say one phrase in one sentence, if I just have to end the video right over here, if your goal is to learn French as soon as possible, you should not be thinking how much time should I give, and you should give as much time as possible on regular basis to be able to do it as soon as possible. This is the end of the video. Okay, if you want to get the results sooner, you have to give more time. So you can stop the video over here and go, go with your daily routine, go with studying French. But if you want to understand in detail according to XYZ time frame, how much time should I be giving on regular basis, then you can stick up until the end. Now, my name is Vyom Sharma. I'm someone who cleared TEF Canada exam just under 12 months, and I coach French as well, specifically for TEF TCF Canada exams. You can reach out to me if you want to learn French, or you can just, stay on my YouTube channel. You'll find a lot of information on how I cleared TEF Canada exam and what resources, what tricks and techniques I used. Talking about how much time it takes on a regular basis. See, as I mentioned earlier, if you're someone who wants to do it as soon as possible, like you have this, you can say you have this gun on your head that you have to do it as early as possible. It's not like you can't wait for 1.5 years. Usually as early as possible is around 10 months, because see, I'll be honest, any time under 10 months is an unrealistic goal. I have seen myself as well. I have seen other students, my current students as well. If someone says you can learn French in 6 months, 7 months, up until B2 plus level, it is not possible. It's not like, believe me. If we logically think about it, it is just not possible. Okay. Let me tell you who is able to learn French in 6 months. Navy SEALs. Okay. Navy SEALs, those who want to learn a foreign language because of their, because of their work. Those people, okay, army people, they are able to learn French in 6 months. But in order for them to do it, they require 6 to 7 months of full immersion. Full immersion means 8 to 10 hours of regular language practice. Not only that, they also require a professional guidance. Not even a professional guidance. We as French trainers, we are also professional, but they require a world class guidance, because obviously it's military. By government, they are able to use the resources to be able to hire one of the best language teachers in the world to be able to teach them. If they still take 6 to 7 months with full time effort, okay, and with that much of dedication, because obviously they are in army, how do you think you can do it in the same time possible? How you think? Okay, even I, when I started learning the language, I was thinking, isn't it possible in 6 to 7 months? But the more you learn it, the more you realize the reality is that language learning, it requires, its own time investment. It requires a sweet spot in the overall time frame. It requires a sweet spot, and that sweet spot comes after 7 months. It comes around 8 to 9 months later. If your doctor says you to eat this particular pill, or they say you to eat these particular foods to be more healthy, you cannot eat all those fruits in one day. Okay, if someone says you ki, eat this particular thing for 1 year to get better, to get your overall health better, you cannot just eat that 1 year stuff in 1 month to be able to have the same results. It's just not going to be possible. Okay, there is natural time which is still required by your brain to absorb the language properly, and that least time possible is about, as I said, to be comfortable in the language is about 8 months. Okay, but we are not only getting comfortable, we are also preparing for an exam which is more than comfortable, which is like, fluency level. So that also adds 2 to 3 more months on top of our comfort level. So at least, that means at least it takes 10 months. Now when we talk about how much time on regular basis we have to give to be able to learn it as soon as possible, which means 10 months. Because if you're thinking as soon as possible means 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, just not possible. You have unrealistic expectations and you should change it. But if you're someone who is wise enough to understand that this is a long process, okay, it's going to require time and sacrifices, then still at least as soon as possible will be 10 months. Now if you want to learn it in 10 months, as I mentioned, you need full time French study. 6 to 7 hours on regular basis. That has to happen. Now, the other thing is, even if you have done study, even if you have done studying for 6 to 7 hours in that particular day, you should still push yourself. It's not like, oh, today I'm done with 6 hours of study. I feel like not studying anymore. I won't study. This is not going to work. If you want to get results as soon as possible, which is within 10 months or at 10th month, you have to study as much as possible. So that is very, very important. Please stop thinking about, oh, how much time do we need to study French? Okay, 3 hours on regular basis. Okay, I'll give 3 hours. Once 3 hours are done, that's good. If you have more time, why are you not giving the time? That's the thing. For me as well, I never thought ki haan bhai, today I have, like it takes 3 hours of a French learning on regular basis. I'm just going to give 3 hours on regular basis. Why? If you have more time, give more time. To clear the exam in at least 9 to 10 months, we do require as much time as possible. That is the fact. Okay. Now, for people, those who want to do it with a little bit more flexibility, let's say within 12 to 18 months. Okay. So 1 year to 1.5 year, those who have that much deadline, you still require regular time investment. Okay. Please still do not think, oh, okay, I need 700, 800 hours of study. That means if we divide it over the days, it's going to be around 2.5, 3 hours of daily practice. For sure, that will help you. But still, why are we thinking that, still, why are we thinking of putting a time cap that, okay, in the whole day, I have 8 hours of sleep, 16 hours are remainder. Out of those 16, I have 8 hours of work. Now, remainder 8 hours. See, you have 8 hours, but if you only give 3 hours to French, you still have ample of time. Out of those ample of 5 hours, if you still, exclude other things, you still have extra time. So, what I recommend is study whenever you get time. Don't go into this illusion that it requires XYZ amount of time to be able to, do French in ABC number of months. The more you think like this, the more demotivated you will be, the less driven you will be. Same for me. Whenever I used to get time, I used to study. When I say I used to study 3-4 hours regularly, that was an average. That means some days I wasn't able to study. I only studied an hour or so. Some days I was able to study a lot more. I studied 5-6 hours. But on an average, it comes out to be 3-4 hours. So that's what you should be thinking, that at least on regular basis you should be giving 3 to 4 hours of full productive study time. That means if you're sitting for 6 hours, that doesn't mean that's your study time. Out of those 6 hours, how much hours have you studied productively? That is your actual time. But again, before ending this video, what I want to say is ki stop numerically thinking about this, please. The more you think numerically, more complex the process seems, more complex than it needs to be. Okay. The primary way to improve in the language is just exposing yourself as much as possible. If you have more time, please give more time. It's only going to help you for the positive, nothing negative. If you are able to give 5 hours on daily basis, even though you want to take time with French, it's just going to happen better. Okay, you are going to build momentum. So that is my recommendation. It's a request not to complexify the things too much. That will help you. And if you want to learn French, you can connect with me, and you can go onto my website to see the program details. And all the best. Keep learning French.